Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Om. 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 Good afternoon, friends. This is the last topic before the practicals. Fourth chapter, fourth one. You're able to hear me, everybody, no? Hello, Maya, Saraswati.
Yes, yes, sir. We are able to hear you.
Okay. So, yoga for prevention management of lifestyle disorders. Okay. Gender disorders, where as well as students, they might have been experiencing that about Arogyadam. So this is nothing but an extension of Arogyadam. Okay. Yoga brings together physical and mental discipline to achieve a peaceful body and mind. Yoga helps manage the stress and anxiety and keeps you relaxing. Yoga also helps in increasing the flexibility, muscle strength, and body tone. Yoga improves the respiration, energy, and vitality. Yoga asanas build the strength, flexibility, and confidence. 4.16 is the concept of yogic lifestyle and its relevance. Okay, the importance of yoga in modern life is abundant. Yoga teaches us the knowledge of how to lead a healthy living. It improves our concentration, creativity, and sharpens our memory. So, another importance of yoga in modern life can be that yoga improves our muscle strength, stamina, and bring immune and mental stability. Yoga is essential, a spiritual discipline based on an extremely subtle science which focuses on bringing harmony between mind and body. It is an art and science of healthy. It's an art and science of healthy living. The word yoga is derived from Sanskrit youth, meaning to join or to yoke or to unite. Prevention of disease. Though due regularity of yoga, we can prevent from various diseases fighting resistance, enhancing the flexibility. If we do yoga asanas daily, so we can enhance the flexibility, which are very important for leading a healthy life. It prevents us from injuries and sports, and body movement becomes quick. Eight health benefits of yoga. Yoga improves the strength, balance, and flexibility. Yoga relieves back pain relief. Yoga can ease the arthritis symptoms. Yoga benefits the heart health. Yoga relaxes you to help you sleep better. Yoga can move more energy and brighter moods. Yoga helps you manage the stress. Yoga connects you with the supportive community. The 10 health benefits of this month. Yoga increases your flexibility. Yoga helps you to build the strength. Yoga improves your postures. Yoga helps to keep your joints healthy. Yoga is a powerful mindfulness practice. Yoga reduces the stress. Yoga lowers the blood pressure. Yoga helps you to make healthier life choices. Yoga improves the breathing, mainly on the respiratory system. Yoga encourages your body's natural, healthy living. Now, the reference of this 1 minute, two people are entering. Just 1 minute. Huh? Who is 357 code and who is 357? अच्छा मेधा 357 is Medha Putrani.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have got two connections. 357 XI arts and
No, I'll exit in one.
नहीं ठीक है चलो. Next, the reference of the scriptures are Adi Yoga Vasishtha. Mental agitations. Mental agitation, we need to emphasize flow of the prana, instabilities of the nadis. Then Ajivirtam, Atijivirtam, and Kunjivirtam. That is under digestion, over digestion, and wrong digestion. Kujinivatam means wrong digestion. Atijiranatam means over digestion. And under Ajivirtam. Then physical ailments are Vadis. They're generated by the Yadis, Adiji, not due to the Adis. Okay. Then essential type of Sara and Samana. Okay. What does Yoga Vasishtha Muni has got various slokas on this. First we'll go over this. Samaksavitvam samutta uchyate vahanti pranavayaha dehe gaja pravasitanti prayansivaha saritete. Because of agitation, pranavayu will abandon the state of equilibrium and flow erratically in the body, just as the turbulent water of the lake where the elephant enters it. Asme vahati prane nadyu anti विसंवितम असंख्य स्थानिस्ति भूपे यथा वर्ण समक्रम. Because of the uneven flow of prana, the nadis become unsettled, just as what happens to the societal system when the king is inept. Vasishtha affirms that turbulence and the manomaya kosha gives rise to turbulence in the energy level. The erratic behavior of the prana implies abnormal functioning of the physiological system, which subsequently leads to bodily disease. Now, we are coming to each and every disease. Concepts of Yoga Vasishtha is very well understood by all diseases, and then we are coming to the acidity now. Awareness and role of yoga in prevention management of common disorder in acidity. Now, everywhere I have given symptoms and causes. Acidity, also known as acid reflux. It can cause due to the eating food which is excessively oily, salty, spicy, or sweet. Excessive intake of caffeine, tobacco, and alcohol can further worsen the problem. Another possible cause of the spike in the acidity can be going to sleep immediately after eating food. All these habits, with the added stress of daily life, are what cause and aggravate the acidity. The common asanas recommended are Vajrasan, Pawan Muktasana, Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, Kapalbhati, and Ustrasana. While yoga is a great way to cure the gastric and acidity problems, when combined with some simple lifestyle changes and healthy eating habits, one can see greater results in the overall gastric health. Include more fruits and raw vegetables in your diet. Reduce the consumption of oily and spicy foods. Avoid eating the sweets. Avoid having meals right before the bedtime. Reduce intake of caffeine. Refraining from tobacco and alcohol consumption can help elevate the acidity. Increase the consumption of water and other liquids like buttermilk and coconut water. Yoga practice helps develops the body and mind, bringing a lot of health benefits, yet it is not a substitute for medicine. Yoga is taken as an alternative medicine, but it is not a full-fledged medicine. Okay, the diagnoses are done at the modern medicine time only, by pathological readings, and that forms the base of the further process of the disease. Now, if at all yoga intervention has to be taken, the basic pathological reading has to be taken. Next comes to constipation. Now, what is constipation? Constipation, awareness of the constipation not just means to or little bowel movement, it rather makes its presence felt through a range of symptoms, including infrequent or few bowel movements, straining while having a bowel movement, passage of hard or small stool, stomach ache and cramps, abdominal pain, bloated stomach and headaches. The root cause of this pool of symptoms is unhealthy lifestyle. Attributes which include inappropriate working hours, less time for rest, intake of too much of junk food, a diet low on fish, fruits, and green leafy vegetables, less intake of water. Yoga helps revitalizes our body and increases the flow of the blood and oxygen. Since most of the yoga postures involve pelvic movement, yoga practices can really help in relieving the constipation most. The 5 major yoga postures recommended are Mayurasana, Ardha Matsyendrasana, Halasana, Pawan Muktasana, and Baddha Konasana. The third disease is the irritable bowel syndrome. Now, what are irritable bowel syndrome? These are at the small intestine, large intestine level. Abdominal pain or discomfort that occurs in association with the altered bowel habits over a period of at least 3 months in the absence of any detectable organic cause. Irritable bowel syndrome is defined as abdominal pain or discomfort that occurs in association with the altered bowel habits over a period of at least 3 months in the absence of any detectable organic cause. You can see here the irritable bowel syndrome. This is the bowel abdominal constrictions. So already a damage has taken place, and there you can see the damage. See here, the black part. Okay. Now it can be classified as either diarrhea predominant, constipation predominant, or IBS with alternating stool patterns. IBS is the most prevalent functional gastrointestinal disorder in the world. The symptoms. What are IBS symptoms? IBS is a group of symptoms manifesting as a functional gastrointestinal disorder in which the patients experience abdominal pain, discomfort, and bloating that is often relieved with defecation. IBS is often associated with a host of secondary comorbidities such as anxiety, depression, headaches, and fatigue. In this review, examine the basic principles of Panchakoshas, concept from an Indian scripture, Taittiriya Upanishad, and the pathophysiology of a disease from the yoga approach. Yoga is Adi, originated from the mind, and Vyadi from the ailment and disease concept. An analogy between the age-old, the most profound concept of Yadi Vyadi, and modern scientific stress-induced dysregulation of brain-gut as it releases to IBS that could pave way for impacting IBS is emphasized. Based on these perspectives, a plausible yoga module as a remedial therapy is provided to better manage the primary and secondary symptoms of IBS. Yoga practices are considered much more useful in IBS patients at various levels to better manage their symptoms. It also increases the self-awareness and happiness within, and also makes one feel. The basic asanas as a preventive measure for IBS is as follows. Asanas posture, standing, sitting, prone, and supine. Ardhakati Chakrasana, halfway spleen pose. Ardha Chakrasana, Padastasana, Trikonasana, Parivarti Trikonasana, Vrikshasana. Makrasana, Paschimuttanasana, Bhujangasana, Shalavasana, Sarvangasana, Viparita Karani, Matsyasana, and Shavasana. Kriyas will include cleaning and pranayama, regulated breathing, Kapalbhati, Udyan Bandh, and Agnisar, Vibhagya Shavasana, Nadishuddhi pranayama, Shitali, and cooling pranayama. Now we come to bronchial asthma. Bronchial asthma, as you know, everybody, it is regarding the respiratory function, disorder in respiratory function. That means the here is because pranayama has been found a very effective tool for asthmatic patients. What is asthma? Asthma is a chronic disease involving the airways in the lung. These airways or the bronchial tubes allow the air to come in and out of the lungs. If you have an asthma, your airways are always inflamed. They become even more swollen, and the muscles around the airways can tighten when something triggers your symptoms. You can see a man taking the inhaler. Here, the normal this is there. And here you find an asthmatic person with asthma. The rate of breathing in asthma comes down drastically, and the person feels paucity of the breath. उसका breath कमती हो, breathing level कमती हो रहा है. But the intake of the oxygen is very less, and that's why you feel the paucity of the air. Asthma is a condition which your airways narrow and swell and may produce the extra mucus. This can make the breathing difficult and trigger coughing, a whistling sound when you breathe out, and shortness of the breath. The three types of asthma are nocturnal asthma, exercise-induced asthma, allergic asthma, or seasonal asthma. Inhaling allergies is the most common trigger for inducing the allergic asthma. Now, what are the yogic postures for controlling the bronchial asthma? Generally, for asthma, all types of asanas can be done. All types of asanas and pranayama. Nadi Shuddhi pranayama, alternate motion, Kapalbhati, Ardha Matsyendrasan, Pavan Muktasan, Setu Bandhasan, Bhujangasan, Adho Mukha Savanasan, Baddha Konasan, Purvatanasan, Shavanasan. Methods to keep the lungs healthy. Following 8 tips, you can improve your lung health and keep these vital organs going strong for the life. Diaphragmatic breathing, simple deep breathing, counting your breaths, watching your posture, staying hydrated, laughing, staying active, joining a breathing club. So we have finished in asthma also. Now we come to sinusitis. General knowledge about sinusitis and yogic methods of prevention and management are the same. Sinusitis is a common condition defined as inflammation of the paranasal sinus. Sinus cavities produce the mucus that nasal passages need to work effectively. Sinusitis can be acute or chronic. Causes of sinus inflammation includes viruses, bacteria, fungus, allergies, and an autoimmune reaction. Sinusitis is usually caused by virus and often persists even after other upper respiratory symptoms are gone. In some cases, bacteria or rarely fungus may cause a sinus infection. Other conditions such as allergic, nasal problems, and tooth infections can also contribute to sinus pain and symptoms. Most sinus infections are viral, and only a small portion develops a secondary bacterial infection. Rhinovirus, influenza viruses, and parainfluenza viruses are the most common cause of sinusitis. Chronic sinusitis, देखो इसका diagram दिया. Chronic sinusitis can be caused by an infection growth in sinuses, nasal polyps, swelling of the lining of your sinuses. Signs and symptoms may include nasal obstruction or congestion that causes difficulty in breathing through your nose, and pain and swelling around your eyes, cheeks, nose, or forehead. Okay. Most important here is Yogi Kriya, Jalniti, Kapalbhati, Kapal Randra Dauti. As the sinus are related to the forehead, Kapalbhati is the best solution for it. And along with that, it stimulates, the Jalniti also stimulates Kapalbhati and Kapal Randra Dauti. Asanas, Sarvangasan, Bhujangasan, Ushtrasan, Konasan, Three Chakrasan, Pranayama, Anulom Vilom, Vastrika, and Surya Bhidhan Pranayama. Now we head to hypertension. Various steps to reduce the high BP: psychological stress management, circadian synergy, body weight management, healthy dietary pattern, regular physical exercises, regular sleep-wake cycle, reduction in body weight in people with obesity, diet with low sodium potassium intake with lot of fruits and fibers and vegetables, endurance and resistance training, meditation and relaxation technique. Here you see blood pressure management, how the blood pressure can be this much. Then there are the inner part shows the how the management can take place. Okay. And the upper part with the higher techniques of relaxation and how the diseases can be evacuated. Okay. This is what I learned from the diagram which is shown. Now, how to define hypertension? One of the most common health disorders prevalent today is hypertension or high blood pressure. This occurs when the pressure inside the blood vessel is higher than the normal expected values for age and gender. Yoga, when adopted as a way of life, has a lot to offer for those suffering from the stress-induced psychosomatic lifestyle disorder. Diagnosis: hypertension should be diagnosed only after taking several readings. The blood pressure need not be taken at least 2 times, and each reading must be from a different day. If the average of this blood pressure reading is more than 140/90, hypertension can be diagnosed. A single reading that is more than 140 does not necessarily confirm hypertension, but requires further monitoring. उसका बीपी हाई है बोलता है ना अपन, वो बीपी हाई है मींस उसका रीडिंग इज डेफिनेटली बिलो अबव 140 to 140/90. Okay? Diastolic systolic pressure. Managing hypertension. The initial strategy in managing hypertension should always include a dynamic advocacy of lifestyle modifications. However, in patients whose BP is on the higher side, medications will need to be taken along with the lifestyle modifications until their condition stabilizes. The aim should be to lower the blood pressure as close to the normal range as possible. Many therapists seem to forget that lifestyle changes are the first step in hypertension treatment. These changes can also improve the quality of the patient's life as well. What are the general precautions hypertension patients take? Lose the weight, restrict the alcohol intake, increase the physical activity like walking, etc. Reduce the sodium intake to less than 100 ml. Maintain the adequate dietary intake of calcium, potassium, and magnesium. Stop smoking and reduce the intake of the saturated fats. Saturated fats. Yoga poses involve breathing in a certain pattern which can control the blood pressure as well as relieve the stress. It will also enhance the functioning of your heart. Yoga leaves a positive impact on your mind and body. It is an effective way to lower the blood pressure. Here are some of the effective yogasanas for hypertension. Balasana or child pose. This is nothing but Shashangasana breathing. Okay. This asana reduces the stress and improves the blood circulation throughout the body. Controlled breathing while performing this asana promotes the calmness and reduces the stress from the neck and shoulders. Cardio exercises. Cardio exercises are best for your heart health as they enhance the flow of the blood. These exercises also burn a huge amount of calories and promote a healthy heart. Simple exercise for hypertension. First is cardio exercises. Second is strength training. Strength training is good for your muscles and bone. Also helps in burning a huge amount of calories. Household chores. Household chores can also burn calories. It increases your movement day throughout the day. Climbing staircase. Climbing staircase is a clever way to work out. It is a smart method to keep yourself fit. Skip the elevators and choose the stairs. Stretching exercises. Stretching increases the flexibility. It benefits your body in several ways. It will specifically focus on your muscles and helps you prevent the injuries. It basically improves the blood flow to your muscles. Asanas proposed for hypertension. Basic exercises are over. Now be Sukhasana. It is a popularly yoga asana which regulates the breathing. This poses gives you relief from high blood pressure by promoting a peaceful mind and reducing the stress. A relaxed mind promotes a healthy body. Shavasana. Shavasana or the corpse pose is totally meant for relaxation. This is one of the easiest poses which you can try to control your blood pressure numbers. Shavasana calms your brain, relieves the stress, relaxes the body, reduces the headache, fatigue, and insomnia. Cobra pose or Bhujangasana, also known as Bhujangasana, is helpful in circulating the blood and oxygen. This pose also relieves the stress and promote the heart and health. Bridge posture, Sedubandhasana, also regulates the blood pressure. It calms the brain and alleviates the stress. These asanas is also beneficial in managing the mind depression. Pranayama में क्या आएगा? Kapalbhati. Do this pranayama gradually. It will not only help you in controlling the blood pressure, but also cures other chronic diseases. Do Anulom Vilom for at least 10 to 15 minutes for maximum benefit without Kumbhak. Brahmari, you have to do Brahmari for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Full yogic breathing, all the three parts should be expanded and observing the parts of the lungs movement. Yoga Nidra, guided meditation as per the standard norms. So Kapalbhati, Anulom Vilom, actually Kapalbhati should not be taken in pranayama. Text में लिया था. Kapalbhati is a kriya. Should take in the Anulom Vilom, Brahmari and full yogic breath. All the three parts to be expanded and observe the parts of the lungs movement. Yoga Nidra. Next comes neck pain. Neck pain. The side picture shows the stress on the neck due to the long hours of mobile watching with stress on the neck with 10 to 12 pounds at angular deviation 50 pounds with 40 degree deviation and 60 pounds with 60 degree deviation and home happiness. Okay. Cervical spondylitis is a general term for age-related wear and tear affecting joints of the neck. Also known as cervical osteoarthritis. This condition usually appears in men and women older than 40 and this month. Although cervical spondylitis affects both sexes equally, men usually develop at an earlier age than women. This is more so in case of the recent research has shown more of the mobile stress related. Continuous watching of the mobile at angular deviation. You can see here the angular deviation is how much 10 to 12 pounds at 60 degrees at 60 degrees is 50 pounds and further this at increase to 60 pounds. The pound is the weight which is there the neck is carrying. Okay. So क्या होता है? Usually we see C3, C4, 7 cervical C1 to C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7. So C3, C4 gets usually affected. That is in the middle part of the cervical, because the angular deviation is at that level only. The angular deviation, continuous. This also affects the people at IT sector. Continuous working. So I always advise my students, whenever you are in an IT company, please go out after half an hour, wash your days, eyes and all, so that you will get more relief. Come out of the seat and wash your eyes, especially continuously. Such type of society people, those who are in the IT sector, will get affected. Second is the otherwise, all other industries, it will not have any much impact. Then housewives continuously working with the head down. Okay. Old age, wear and tear will be there. Okay. Next, symptoms of neck pain. What is the reason of neck pain? The usual signs of cervical spondylitis that brings about a stiff and painful neck, shoulder, arm or chest pain, numbness, tingling or pinching sensation in the arms, hands, legs or feet, lack of coordination, difficulty in walking, abdominal reflexes, loss of bladder or bowel control, or urinary or bowel detention. Causes of neck pain, technostress and the accompanying psychophysiological changes due to the modern computer age are important factors in the etiopathogenesis, as there is no escaping a computer anywhere or anymore anytime. Aging and wear and tear on the spine are major risk factors for spondylitis. The person is more likely to develop spondylitis if they had a previous neck injury. Specific changes occurring with the age: drying and loss of elasticity in the spinal and cervical disc, bulging and sometimes herniation of the disc, so that the disc material protrudes from between two vertebrae, stiffening on the ligaments connecting the neck bones and the muscles. Test and diagnosis of neck pain. Simple movement of the neck with angular rotation of the neck. Neurological examination of the neck to be examined with any stress in balancing the movement of the legs and arm. Neck or spinal X-ray. CT scan or magnetic resonance image, MRI. A CT scan of the spine produces a more detailed image, while the MRI can produce detailed cross-sectional images of the spine. Myelogram, this test involves generating image using X-rays or CT scans after dye is injected into the spinal canal for better visualization. Now, yogic prevention and managing of neck pain. Avoid what is the avoid high impact activities if neck pain is present. Warm fermentation of the neck region. Avoid lifting the weights. Take short break while driving, watching the TV, or working on a computer. Work on the overall posture, keeping the neck aligned with shoulders. Take adequate rest. When lying down, it is best to lie on the side. Avoid sleeping on the face. Use a thin and hard pillow to support the head and the neck. Now, what are the yogic activities for the neck pain? Sushma Vaya to facilitate the healing energy throughout the body. Vyagra Pranayama with awareness of the movements at the upper back with the breath. Chin Kriya with awareness of the movement at the upper back with the breath. Postures. Asanas to stretch and strengthen the upper back. Tadasana, Ardhakati Chakrasana, Ardha Chakrasana, Meruasana, Gomukasana, Mandukasan, Dandasan, Shashangasan, Ushtrasan, and Pratiphalasana. Pranayamas, Vibhavya and Pranav Pranayamas, with special emphasis to Adhyam Pranayama and MMM sound. That is MMM sound for head and neck area. That is Makar Pranayama, Brahmari Pranayama. Nadi Shuddhi and Brahmari Pranayama help in reducing the stress level. Kriyas are Jalniti and Kunjal Kriya. Mudras are Brahma Mudra for the head and neck region. Relaxation, Shavasana, Yoga Nidra, and Ajapa Japa. Next is the low back pain. Very often, very common, we are having not only because of the old age, but youngsters also will have, housewives, very commonly they have because of the heavy weight lifting and all, that can worsen still. Okay. Now, back pain is a very common condition, albeit a uniquely experienced one, ranging from the dull or the throbbing aches of the spine, osteoarthritis, to the shooting, sharp pain of a ruptured disc. Back pain can also come and go, be constant worsen with the exercise or prolonged sitting, and or be associated with the neurological symptoms like numbness and tingling. While back pain can be frustrating and debilitating, the upside is that the majority of episodes of back pain improve or resolve with the minimal care and usually within few weeks. Now, types of diseases with lower back muscle strain, bulging rupture, muscle strains, and sprains are perhaps the most common causes of back pain, especially in the lower back. A strain refers to a tearing of a muscle or a tendon, a fibrous tissue that connects the muscle to the bone, while a sprain refers to the tearing of a ligament, a fibrous tissue that connects two bones together. With these tears, which result from an injury like lifting a couch or gradual overseas, inflammation occurs, causing pain and in some cases muscle spasms. Bulging the ruptured disc. Spinal discs are located between adjacent vertebrae and serve as a shock absorbing cushion. For a combination of reasons, including the natural process of aging, trauma to the spine, weight gain, smoking, and repetitive stress to the spine. Osteoarthritis and sciatica. Osteoarthritis is a separate area. This is the last disease which is there. I have covered with the general knowledge as well as the role of yoga in prevention and management of that. Okay. Osteoarthritis. Or what is osteoarthritis? Can affect any joint in the body, including the small joints of the spine, called vertebral column. Spine osteoarthritis occurs as a result of wear and tear of the cartilages located between the spine joints. As spine arthritis progresses, the body makes a new bony growth to stabilize the joint. These bone spurs can eventually compress nearby spinal nerves roots, causing numbness and tingling, similar to that of a ruptured disc. Sciatica. Sciatica refers to the compression and pinching of the sciatica nerve, which is the biggest nerve in the body. Sciatica nerve is the biggest nerve in the body, often caused by a herniated disc or a bone spur. Any injury or trauma to the pelvis, buttocks or thighs, diabetes or prolonged sitting, and piriformis syndrome, when a small muscle in the buttock spasms and irritates the sciatica nerve, may also cause sciatica. Spinal stenosis and spondylosis. Spinal stenosis causes back pain in the aging population. As you get older, the spinal canal gradually becomes constricted or narrowed due in part to the osteoarthritis and the thickening of the tissues in your spine. If the spinal canal becomes too tight, nerve roots may become compressed, causing neurological symptoms like weakness, numbness, and tingling. Spondylosis refers to the stress fracture in one of the vertebrae of the spine. This condition is most common in children and adolescents who play the sports, such as gymnastics or football, that place repeated stress on the lower back. If a stress fracture weakens the vertebra too much, the vertebra becomes unstable and begins to slip. This condition is called spondylolisthesis. Symptoms of spondylosis include pain and stiffness at the site of the slipped vertebra. Osteoporosis. One should understand the difference between osteoarthritis and osteoporosis. See that when you go for the bone density test, there are three levels of bone density test. One is osteopenia, osteoporosis, osteopenia, and the normal density. Density is how we define density. Density is equal to mass upon volume. So they take out the density of the bone, and they also take out density of the overall of the body. Okay. Now, what is osteoporosis? Osteoporosis are the pores. The very word pores means the holes which are created in the spinal cord. Is a weakening of the bones that can make them more prone to breaking. माने वो कैसा hash हो जाएगा. The back pain from the osteoporosis is most commonly related to compression fracture of the vertebra. Oftentimes, with the compression fracture, a person does not report a history of trauma, but rather notes sudden back pain after a simple activity like bending over or sneezing. The pain of a vertebral compression fracture is often felt in the lower back or in the middle of the back. Rarely, pain radiates to other areas of the body, like the abdomen or the legs. Generally speaking, pain from a compression fracture often worsens with motion, is eased with rest or lying down, and ranges in quality from sharp to dull. From sharp to dull. The scoliosis and ankylosing spondylitis. Scoliosis is a condition in the spine curves and twists like the letter S or letter C. It usually develops in childhood or during adolescence. In most cases, the cause of scoliosis is unknown, although it may be related to an injury or birth defect. In some instances, multiple family members will have scoliosis, suggesting potential genetic component. Ankylosing spondylitis is a chronic inflammatory disease of the spine joints that causes low back pain and stiffness, typically starting before the age of 40. The back pain of ankylosing spondylitis tends to improve with exercise and worsens at the night. So it is a chronic inflammatory disease of the spine joints that causes low back pain and stiffness, typically starting before the age of 40. Okay. Now, this scoliosis and this spondylitis, you might have heard that in the case of lower vertebral column, slip disc happens. Slip disc. This slip disc usually happens after the continuous ride for motorcycle ride or even the scooter rides in the Bombay streets and all, which is done for not a 1 year, 2 years, continue 30, 40 years. So at the age of 50, 55, this pain starts aggravating. And it ultimately comes to one day that the disc gets, that is the lower disc, that is at a lumbar level, the lower disc gets displaced from its original place. That is another slip disc. The treatment of the slip disc is very horrifying and very, I have seen continuous hanging off with 3 to 4 kilos on the leg. So then only the displaced disc will set right to the proper position. Spondylosis. Okay. Any treatment will have to be done medically, and then only the yogic intervention can take place. Please note it down. Asanas recommended are Majarasan A and B, Adho Mukha Svanasana, Trikonasana, Bhujangasana, Cobra posture, Naukasana, Locust posture, Setu Bandhasana, Ardha Matsyendrasana, Uttan Vakrasana, and Shashangasana. Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, Kumbhak Pranayama, it's in sound. Osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis देखो पाव में दिखता है उसका fibers cover bones and this is the patella. So the joint capsule containing the synovial fluid. As the age grows, the fluid goes on decreasing. I am a patient of osteoarthritis. Myself is a patient of osteoarthritis. Every year I go to Ayurvedic hospital at Kerala, which is one of the famous Kerala Ayurvedics are very famous. I go there. So many knee joints are okay, but I'm not able to sit in Vajrasana differently. Okay. Now we'll understand the medical part of this. Osteoarthritis is the arthritis which is formed at the knee joints. Knee joints. Okay. It is the most common form of arthritis and leading cause of disability and loss of function in the elderly population. It can affect any joints, but the knee is one of the most affected parts of the body in the youth. There are several risk factors for osteoarthritis, such as obesity, smoking, intra-articular fractures, chondrocalcinosis, crystals in joint fluid, cartilage, female gender, etc. See, this is the normal bone. This is the normal bone, okay? Where the cartilage is there, joint applicability is there, and the bone is there. The femur and the tibia bones. Now, this is the osteoarthritis under this one. You can see this has been displaced from its position, and here the rupture has taken place. Here it is very advanced. The rupture has been much far ahead. Osteophytes here. Then pedicular fibrosis, calcinate cartilage. Okay. Now, here we have the fibrous cover bones, perineum, ligaments, synovial membrane, synovial cartilages, joint capsule. What are the symptoms of osteoarthritis? Joint hypermobility, instability, peripheral neuropathy, prolonged occupation or sports stress. The prevalence of knee arthritis increases with the age. Osteoarthritis present as pain and around the joints, morning stiffness, restricted joint movements associated with muscle weakness. Knee osteoarthritis is associated with disrupted sleep, depression, increased sedentary behavior, less physical activity, obesity, and decrease in the quality of life. Bilateral knee osteoarthritis is impaired. the balance and increase the risk of fall, particularly in people with moderate knee osteoarthritis. We have seen the symptoms. Yeah. Now we go to different yogic method for relief for osteoarthritis. Yoga, mind-body intervention originated in India. Different schools of yoga that we have seen, such as Iyengar Yoga, integrated approach of Yasvasa, Hatha Yoga, etc. Developed a therapeutic intervention for the knee osteoarthritis. A pilot study was conducted on 9 participants. These are the research which was made. Okay. Pilot study was conducted on 9 participants using modified Iyengar postures, 90 minutes class once in a week for 8 weeks as a treatment modality and showed potential reduction in pain and disability caused by knee osteoarthritis. Few other studies compared the yoga therapy with different interventions such as traditional stretching and strengthening exercise or no structured group exercise for 6 weeks and showed functional changes and improvement in the quality of life in traditional practice and this one. It was followed by IOIT intervention, 40 minutes of SVASAs, and reported that IOIT is better than physiotherapy exercises for reducing the pain, morning stiffness, state and trait anxiety, blood pressure, and pulse rate in osteoarthritic patients. Here we are seeing research was made, one in the yoga group, a control group, and one is non-control group. Non-control group, they found that readings have been very satisfactorily. Sanjay, Srinidhi, Jasmine will be very well aware of these factors on the research side. Okay. Now, yogic posture for the study was limited to non-numerical scale and state and trait of anxiety. A meta-analysis of yoga for musculoskeletal problems, such as that yoga is helpful for chronic pain and low back problems in elderly women population. Yogic posture for osteoarthritis. Vrikshasana, Surya Namaskar, Shashankasan breathing, Majasana A and B, Uttan Vakrasana, Sedubandhasana, Parvatasana, Adnyanasana, one leg posture, one leg front with hands in Namaskar posture, facing upwards, pelvic twist. Pranayamas for osteoarthritis. Pranayama like Bhramari, Ujjayi, Anulom Vilom, Kapalbhati, Shitali and Chitkari besides Surya Namaskar are effective in curing joints. Now we come to all the diseases, 9 diseases are over. Yogic treatment and therapy treatments are over. Now we come to non-communicable diseases. Now, which are the non-communicable diseases? See, questions can be asked in this topic in non-communicable disease because it's a separate part. Okay. Which are the non-communicable diseases? Now we'll come to the basic definitions. You will see here lungs related, diabetes, heart related, okay, and then here also gets related. Okay. Yoga is an essential practice to increase the physical and the mental activity and prevent the occurrence of NCDs, non-communication disease. Yoga practice can improve the functioning of different systems of the body, fosters physiological well-being, and improve the oxygen delivery to tissues, remove the metabolic waste products, carcinogens, and cellular toxin, and scientific evidence has begun to emphasize its efficacy. It helps to get rid of the toxic substances which create disturbance in the body. NCDs continue. In this review, the authors explain the role of various yoga practices in management of 4 major non-communication. Which are the 4 major? Diabetes mellitus, respiratory disorders, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. These are the 4 major ones. Based on the evidence from various literatures and research, NCD is an ailment are based on the routine habits of people, sedentary lifestyle, the leading cause for health issues, which leads to non-communicable disease. Yoga helps the human beings. to make his body healthy and fit. It helps the man to get rid of the toxic substances which create disturbances in the body. To reduce the NCDs related premature mortality, regular practice of yoga must be implemented. In this short review, discussing the various role of yoga practices for the management of four major NCDs. Now, now for each and every disease, what are the asanas which are recommended? Asanas recommended for NCD for diabetes mellitus 2. Surya Namaskar, the key to do yoga posture is that it should be performed. It should be performed with a stability and comfort. Asanas had a beneficial effect on glucose utilization and fat redistribution in people with type 2 diabetes. In patients with diabetes, the pancreatic cells may be regenerated and beta cell sensitivity in the pancreas may be increased by the alternate abdominal contraction and relaxation involved in yogic practice. Improved blood supply to the muscles may enhance the insulin receptor expression in the muscles, causing the increased glucose uptake. You have noticed that ideal control of diabetes was done by Dhanurasana, Ardha Matsyendrasana, Anasana, Vajrasana, Bhujangasana, Naukasana. Okay. Now, which are the yoga for respiratory disorders? First, we have gone here for diabetes. Okay. Apart from Surya Namaskar, Dhanurasana, Ardha Matsyendrasana, Hanasana, and yoga. Now, for respiratory disorders, the regular practice of pranayama will lead to a good supply of the oxygen to the lungs. Respiratory rate becomes slower. This slower breathing rate will activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps in reducing the stress and rejuvenate the body. It strengthens the diaphragm and remove the impurities from the breathing tube. Some of the beneficial include the Bhujangasana, Viparita Karni, Dandasana, Dvipada Viparita Tadasana, Urdhva Mukha Asana, Ustrasana, Supta Vedasana, Dhanurasana, setback, etc. Lungs and other respiratory organs requires an adequate, fresh, and healthy blood to prevent the disorders and disease. This is obtained by the way of gravity, that is the inverted posture, and through the methods of squeezing and soaking. In inverted poses such as Sirsasana, Shalabhasana, Sarvangasana, Halasana, Sedubandhasana, Sarvangasana, and Viparita Karni. Asanas prevention and management of this month of cardiovascular. Third is the cardiovascular disease. By doing the above, circulation throughout the human body is altered, and areas above the heart receive an increased supply of blood. It should be noted that the last two postures mentioned, Sarvangasana and Viparita Karni, also have the additional respiratory benefit of stretching and massaging the diaphragm, the primary muscle of respiration. The process of squeezing and soaking occurs when a respiratory organ is constricted and released. Cardiovascular disease. Regular practice of yoga results in an improvement in the lipid profiles, heart rate variability, decrease in the blood pressure, and even regression of atherosclerosis when combined with a proper diet and lifestyle modification. Meditation poses can also reduce potentially arterial clogging stress hormones. Cardiovascular disease and cancer. Examples of such poses are like Sukhasana or child pose. These poses also contribute to mind-body awareness that impacts the lifestyle choices such as mind-body, mindful eating, and knowing when to remove you from the stressful situation. Poses like Utkadasana and Navasana, both posture, and dolphin plank pose work your heart while they develop core strength. Flowing yoga postures such as sun salutation, increasing the heart rate, thereby reducing the resting of the heart rate. This helps the heart to pump the blood it needs to the rest of the body effectively. Now we come to the yoga for cancer. The asanas and the pranayama together help keep the mind calm and prepare the mind to overcome the sensory stimuluses, reduces the thoughts by helping one to focus and concentrate. Yoga for cancer. Yoga has been used to control the symptoms such as fatigue, sleep disturbances, loss of appetite, chemotherapy-induced nausea and vomiting, and pain in cancer patients. The effects of the yoga intervention have been moderate to large in these studies. Cooling pranayama has been useful in managing the this month chemotherapy-induced nausea and vomiting, CINV, along with Pawan Muktasan and Uttanapadasana. In that RCT trial showed that the loosening exercises, gentle stretches, yogasanas, Sudarshan Kriya, and relaxation techniques have been more effective in managing the fatigue, pain, and sleep problem. Techniques that use the postures, interspreads with the relaxation technique, cyclic meditation, that is the vice versa, movement meditation have been found to be useful in reducing the stress and improving the sleep. Yoga reduces stress hormones, HPA axis regulation, relaxation response, and improves the parasympathetic function that reduces stress and modulate the response to the stresses and instill a greater control over situation. This is particularly useful in cancer patients who perceive cancer as a threat and constantly ruminate on its fears. Depression causes abnormal elevation of diurnal cortisol, leading to insomnia and immune perception. Yoga helps in the reduction of depressive symptoms by changing the perception, thereby improving fatigue, improving the sleep, and consequent immune response. Yoga modulates the psychoneuroendocrine and psychoneuroimmune axis, thereby restoring homeostasis and reducing the allostatic blood flow. All pranayama must be done without Kumbha Vastarika. Yeah. Can all pranayama be done without Kumbha Vastarika? Next. So yoga is based on the principle that the mind and body are related. Yoga has many health benefits such as improving the physical fitness, relaxation, and awareness of self. It has been accepted widely in society because of its safety and physiological, psychological benefits. Yoga practice can improve the function of the different systems of the body, foster the psychological well-being, and improve the oxygen delivery to the tissues, remove the metabolic waste products, carcinogens, and cellular toxins. And scientific evidence has begun to emphasize its efficacy. It is now considered a low-cost intervention to control the various lifestyle disorders. Now last topic is yoga as an integrated medicine. Yoga is a unique system of theory and practice. It's a combination of breathing exercises, physical postures, and meditation practice for over 5,000 years. An analysis of yoga and heart health studies found that yoga reduces the risk factors for the heart disease, such as body mass BMI, cholesterol, and blood pressure. Yoga may also decrease the changes in the blood vessels that contribute to the heart disease. I think everybody is aware of body mass index. Okay, cholesterol and blood pressure. Everybody knows. Yoga helps you to manage the stress. According to the National Institute of Health, scientific evidence shows that yoga supports the stress management, mental health, mindfulness, healthy eating, weight loss, and quality sleep. Yoga's incorporation of meditation and breathing can help improve a person's mental well-being. Regular yoga practices creates mental clarity and calmness, increases the body awareness, reduces the chronic stress patterns, relaxes the mind, centers the attention, and sharpens the concentration. Are the opinion given by Sati Amrot. Yoga has the potential to increase the fat loss, develop the muscle tone, and build the flexibility, leading to a more lean-looking physique. It says, if the flexibility and the balances are what you are after, even the gentlest form of yoga will do the trick. Many types also help you build the muscle strength and endurance. Yoga has been widely used for health promotion and the enhance a possible treatment. Moderate is one disorders. Yoga can also can help in breathing practice, improve your flexibility, and help with the balance. Pilates may be better for recovering after injury, improving the posture, and for the core strength. This is my presentation. Okay.